In the year 1066, a streak of light blazed across the night sky, a sight so extraordinary that it was immortalized in the Bayeux Tapestry, stitched into history as a harbinger of doom for King Harold II of England. This was Halley's Comet, a celestial visitor that sparked awe, fear, and countless interpretations across the ancient world. But this was no isolated event. For thousands of years, comets and other celestial phenomena have captivated humanity, not just as scientific curiosities, but as powerful omens, divine messages, and symbols of fate. From the courts of kings to the rituals of priests, these fiery streaks in the heavens shape the beliefs, decisions, and very fabric of entire civilizations. What did ancient cultures truly think when they gazed up at these mysterious lights? Were they warnings from the gods, signs of impending disaster, or something even more profound? Across the globe, from the ziggurats of Mesopotamia to the pyramids of Mesoamerica, comets and celestial events were woven into the myths, religions, and politics of the time. They influenced everything from harvest cycles to the rise and fall of empires. In this video, we'll journey through time to uncover how ancient civilizations interpreted these celestial wonders. We'll explore the myths, the rituals, and the stories that reveal how humanity's fascination with the stars shaped the course of history. By the end, you'll see the night sky through the eyes of those who came before us, a place not just of beauty, but of mystery, meaning, and profound connection. Ready to uncover the secrets of the stars, let's begin. In the cradle of civilization, where the Tigris and Euphrates rivers carved their paths through the land, the ancient Mesopotamians gazed upward with both wonder and purpose. They were among the first to systematically study the heavens, creating some of the earliest known star charts and celestial records. To them, the night sky wasn't just a canvas of light. It was a divine script, a series of messages from the gods meant to guide and warn humanity. Among these celestial phenomena, comets held a particularly ominous significance. They were seen not as mere streaks of light, but as cosmic heralds, carrying urgent warnings or signs of divine displeasure. At the heart of their astronomical knowledge was the Enuma Anu Enlil, a sprawling collection of celestial omens that linked the movements of stars, planets, and comets to events on Earth. This text was more than just a scientific document. It was a spiritual guidebook. Comets, often referred to as hairy stars in their records, were interpreted as portents of disaster, famine, war, or the fall of kings. The Mesopotamians believed that the gods communicated through these celestial events, and it was the duty of their priest astronomers to decode these messages and advise their rulers accordingly. Take, for example, the reign of Hammurabi, the famed Babylonian king known for his code of laws. Historical records suggest that the appearance of a comet during his rule was interpreted as a divine signal, prompting him to enact sweeping legal reforms to appease the gods and restore cosmic balance. This connection between celestial events and earthly decisions underscores just how deeply intertwined astronomy and governance were in Mesopotamian society. The heavens weren't just observed, they were consulted, as if the stars themselves held the fate of empires. But the influence of Mesopotamian celestial beliefs didn't stop at their borders. Their meticulous observations and interpretations spread to neighboring cultures, shaping how other civilizations viewed the cosmos. The idea that comets were divine messengers carrying warnings or blessings from the gods became a recurring theme across the ancient world. This shared understanding of the heavens created a kind of cosmic language, one that transcended cultures and laid the groundwork for the astronomical traditions that followed. As we move forward, we'll see how these early beliefs evolved and intertwined with the myths and practices of other ancient civilizations. The Mesopotamians may have been the first to chart the stars with such precision, but their legacy lived on, influencing how humanity interpreted the mysteries of the cosmos for generations to come. In the land of the Nile, where the sky was as much a part of life as the river itself, the ancient Egyptians saw the heavens as a canvas of divine messages. To them, a comet streaking across the night sky wasn't just a celestial phenomenon, it was a fiery serpent, a harbinger of change, or even the tears of Nut, the sky goddess. Nut, who arched her body over the earth, was believed to swallow the sun each evening and give birth to it each morning. When something unusual appeared in her domain, like a comet, it was seen as a direct communication from the gods, often carrying warnings of chaos or the displeasure of deities like Ra, the sun god. The priests of ancient Egypt held immense power in interpreting these celestial signs. They were the intermediaries between the gods and the people, tasked with deciphering the meaning behind every comet, eclipse, or unusual star pattern. Their interpretations could shape the decisions of pharaohs, influencing everything from the timing of military campaigns to the construction of grand temples. For instance, during the reign of Akhenaten, a comet was recorded in the skies, a moment that some historians believe may have inspired his radical religious reforms. Akhenaten shifted Egypt's focus to the worship of Aten, the sun disk, breaking away from the traditional pantheon. Was this a response to the comet, seen as a divine signal to abandon old ways? While we can't say for certain, the connection between celestial events and monumental decisions in Egyptian history is hard to ignore. These beliefs didn't stay confined to the banks of the Nile. As Egyptian trade and culture spread across the Mediterranean, so too did their interpretations of the heavens. The idea of comets as divine warnings found echoes in neighboring civilizations, blending with local myths and shaping a shared understanding of the cosmos. From the fiery serpents of Egypt to the celestial omens of Greece and Rome, the ancient world was united in its awe of the skies and its belief that the gods spoke through the stars. In the ancient world, few celestial events stirred as much fascination and fear as the appearance of a comet. For the Greeks and Romans, these blazing trails of light were far more than just astronomical curiosities. They were powerful omens, often interpreted as messages from the gods. Imagine standing under the night sky, watching a comet streak across the heavens, and wondering if it foretold the fall of an empire or the rise of a new ruler. This was the reality for many in ancient Greece and Rome, where comets were seen as harbingers of change, tied closely to the fates of leaders and nations. Aristotle, one of the most influential thinkers of antiquity, offered a more grounded explanation for these celestial phenomena. He believed comets were not divine messengers but rather atmospheric disturbances caused by flammable gases igniting high in the sky. This theory, though groundbreaking for its time, clashed with the widespread belief that comets were signs from the gods. To many, Aristotle's scientific view seemed almost blasphemous, as it stripped comets of their mystical significance. Yet his ideas laid the foundation for future astronomical study, even as superstition continued to dominate public perception. One of the most famous examples of a comet's cultural impact occurred in Rome, just before the assassination of Julius Caesar in 44 B. C. A bright comet appeared in the sky shortly after his death, and many Romans interpreted it as a sign that Caesar's soul had ascended to join the gods. This celestial event was so significant that it was immortalized in coins and literature, solidifying the idea of comets as divine markers of great change. For centuries, this interpretation influenced how people viewed comets, blending political symbolism with celestial wonder. Roman historians like Pliny the Elder also played a crucial role in documenting comets and their societal effects. In his monumental work, Natural History, Pliny described comets as awe-inspiring and often ominous, noting their appearances during times of upheaval or transition. His writings preserved the collective memory of these events, ensuring that the connection between comets and human destiny endured long after the fall of Rome. These accounts didn't just record history, they shaped how future generations would interpret the skies above. As the Roman Empire gave way to the medieval world, the legacy of Greek and Roman comet lore continued to influence European thought. The idea of comets as divine signals persisted, blending with emerging Christian beliefs to create a rich tapestry of celestial interpretation. From the courts of kings to the pages of illuminated manuscripts, comets remained symbols of divine will, their appearances sparking both awe and dread across the centuries. In ancient China, the night sky wasn't just a canvas of stars, it was a living script, a cosmic language written in light. Among its most dramatic symbols were comets, which the Chinese referred to as broom stars or celestial dragons. These fleeting visitors weren't mere astronomical phenomena. They were seen as powerful omens, messengers from the heavens with urgent warnings or prophecies. The Chinese believed that comets carried messages tied to the mandate of heaven, the divine right to rule. A comet's appearance could signal anything from natural disasters like floods or droughts to political turmoil, even the fall of a dynasty. Imperial astronomers took their role as celestial interpreters seriously. During the Han Dynasty, for instance, they maintained meticulous records, documenting the appearance, movement, and even the color of comets. These observations weren't just scientific, they were deeply tied to the empire's fate. One of the most famous examples comes from the Qin Dynasty. Just before its collapse, a comet streaked across the sky, interpreted as a clear sign that the dynasty had lost the mandate of heaven. The people saw this as proof that the Qin rulers had become unjust, and the comet became a harbinger of revolution. This belief in comets as cosmic messengers didn't stay confined to China. Over time, it spread across East Asia, influencing cultures in Korea, Japan, and Vietnam. In each region, comets were viewed through a similar lens, celestial events with the power to shape human destiny. The idea that the heavens could communicate through these fiery visitors shaped not only astronomy but also politics, philosophy, and even warfare. It's a testament to how deeply ancient cultures connected the cosmos to their lives, seeing the stars not as distant lights but as part of their own story. The legacy of these beliefs reminds us just how much the night sky once mattered. For the Chinese, comets weren't just random streaks of light. They were dragons in the sky, carrying messages that could change the course of history. And as we'll see next, this fascination with comets as divine messengers wasn't unique to China. Across the world, other cultures also saw these celestial visitors as something far more than astronomical curiosities. In Japanese culture, the skies were more than just a canvas of stars. They were a stage for divine messages, often carried by celestial phenomena like comets. Among the most fascinating interpretations is the link between comets and the Tengu, mysterious bird-like beings from Japanese folklore. These creatures, known for their supernatural powers and often depicted as both protectors and troublemakers, were thought to manifest in the heavens as fiery comets streaking across the night. But these weren't just random lights, they were seen as ominous signs, warnings of chaos to come. Comets in particular were believed to herald war, famine, or natural disasters. Take, for example, the Great Kanto earthquake of 1923. Though this event occurred centuries after the Tengu star beliefs were at their height, the cultural memory of comets as harbingers of disaster persisted. In earlier times, when a comet appeared, it wasn't just a matter of curiosity, it was a call to action. Shinto priests, revered as intermediaries between the gods and humanity, would carefully study these celestial signs. Their interpretations held immense weight, often influencing decisions at the highest levels of the imperial court. One of the most striking examples of this belief in action comes from the year 1180, when a comet blazed across the sky. At the time, Japan was on the brink of the Genpei War, a conflict that would reshape the nation's history. The comet was seen as a direct message from the heavens, a prophecy of the bloodshed and upheaval that was about to unfold. This wasn't just superstition, it was a deeply ingrained worldview that connected the physical and spiritual realms, but the story doesn't end there. These interpretations of comets didn't exist in isolation. They were intricately tied to Buddhist cosmology, which also saw the heavens as a reflection of earthly and spiritual conditions. The Tengu, comets, and their ominous warnings became part of a larger tapestry of belief, blending Shinto traditions with Buddhist ideas of karma and cosmic balance. Together, these beliefs shaped how the Japanese people understood their place in the universe and how they responded to the challenges of their time. For the ancient Maya and Aztecs, the night sky wasn't just a canvas of stars. It was a living, breathing entity filled with messages from the gods. Comets, in particular, held a special place in their cosmology. These celestial wanderers weren't seen as random or insignificant. Instead, they were powerful omens, often tied to the end of eras and the cyclical nature of time. The Maya, with their sophisticated long-count calendar, believed that the universe operated in vast cycles of creation and destruction. Each cycle, or world age, would eventually come to an end, often marked by dramatic celestial events. Comets, with their sudden appearance and fiery tails, were interpreted as harbingers of these cosmic shifts. The Dresden Codex, one of the few surviving pre-Columbian Mayan texts, contains detailed records of comets and their interpretations, offering a rare glimpse into how these events were meticulously observed and recorded. The Aztecs, too, saw comets as deeply significant, though their interpretation carried a darker tone. To them, comets were the fiery breath of the gods, a sign of divine displeasure or impending doom. The sight of a comet streaking across the sky could send entire cities into a state of panic, as it was often seen as a call to action. For the Aztecs, this frequently meant performing elaborate rituals or human sacrifices to appease the gods and avert disaster. The comet's appearance wasn't just a warning. It was a demand for intervention, a reminder of humanity's fragile place in the cosmic order. These beliefs weren't confined to the Maya and Aztecs alone. Across the Americas, indigenous cultures shared a common thread in their interpretations of comets. Many saw them as signs of transformation, whether as a prelude to destruction or an opportunity for renewal. This shared understanding of celestial events as markers of change underscores the deep connection between ancient peoples and the cosmos. For them, the sky wasn't just something to observe, it was a mirror reflecting the cycles of life, death, and rebirth, a constant reminder of the forces that shaped their world. For many Native American tribes, the night sky was more than just a canvas of stars. It was a living, breathing spiritual guide. Comets, in particular, held deep significance, often seen as messengers from the spirit world. Take the Lakota Sioux, for example, who believed in the Wanagi Takanku, or the spirit road. This celestial pathway was thought to be the route souls traveled after death, and comets were seen as travelers along this sacred road, lighting the way for those on their journey to the afterlife. To the Lakota, a comet streaking across the heavens wasn't just a random event. It was a profound spiritual moment, a reminder of the connection between the living and the departed. The Cherokee, too, had their own unique interpretation of these fiery visitors. They spoke of the fire panther, a powerful celestial being that could take the form of a comet or a meteor. According to legend, the fire panther was both a protector and a harbinger of change. When it appeared in the sky, it was often seen as a sign that the natural order was shifting, perhaps signaling a change in seasons, the success of a hunt, or even the rise of a new tribal leader. These celestial events weren't just omens, they were woven into the very fabric of daily life, influencing decisions and shaping the tribe's understanding of their place in the cosmos. What's fascinating is how these beliefs were deeply tied to the rhythms of nature. For many tribes, comets and other celestial phenomena were closely linked to the cycles of the Earth, whether it was the timing of the harvest, the migration of animals, or the onset of winter. They served as a kind of cosmic calendar, helping communities navigate the challenges of survival in a world where the environment dictated so much of life. But how were these beliefs preserved and passed down through generations? Unlike written records, Native American traditions relied heavily on oral storytelling. Elders would share these celestial legends around campfires, ensuring that the wisdom of the stars was never lost. These stories weren't just tales, they were lessons, warnings, and guides, each one a thread in the intricate tapestry of tribal culture. Through these oral traditions, the spiritual significance of comets and celestial events remained alive, connecting the past with the present in a way that still resonates today. As we explore these rich traditions, it's impossible not to marvel at the depth of understanding and reverence these cultures held for the sky. For them, comets weren't just distant objects, they were spiritual guides, messengers, and reminders of the delicate balance between the physical and the spiritual worlds. And in a way, these ancient interpretations invite us to look up at the night sky with a little more wonder, reminding us that the cosmos has always held meaning far beyond what meets the eye. For the Norse people, the night sky was more than just a canvas of stars. It was a realm of gods, monsters, and cosmic omens. In their mythology, comets weren't just streaks of light. They were the fiery breath of dragons soaring across the heavens, or the blazing harbingers of Ragnarok, the cataclysmic end of the world. These celestial events were deeply tied to their belief system, seen as messages from the gods themselves. Odin, the All-Father, and Thor, the thunder-wielding protector, were thought to communicate through the skies, guiding the Vikings in their voyages and battles. A comet streaking across the heavens wasn't just a spectacle, it was a divine sign, a call to action, or even a warning of doom. One of the most striking examples of this belief comes from the year 1066, during the lead up to the Battle of Stamford Bridge. Just before the clash between the Norwegian king Harald Hardrada and the English forces, a bright comet appeared in the sky. To the Vikings, this was no mere coincidence. They interpreted it as a direct sign from the gods, a fiery omen signaling impending disaster. And in a way, they were right. The battle marked the end of Viking ambitions in England, a turning point in history that echoed their mythological fears of Ragnarok. This event wasn't just a moment of superstition. It was a vivid example of how deeply celestial phenomena were woven into their worldview, shaping their decisions and their destiny. But the influence of these Norse beliefs didn't stop with the Vikings. As their myths and stories spread across medieval Europe, so too did their interpretations of comets. The idea of comets as omens of doom or divine messages began to take root in the broader European imagination. This blending of Norse and Christian traditions created a rich tapestry of celestial symbolism, where comets became signs of everything from royal births to impending wars. The Vikings' fiery dragons in the sky evolved into a shared cultural language of fear and wonder, one that would shape how people viewed the heavens for centuries to come. The legacy of Norse mythology, with its dragons and gods, still whispers in the way we think about the stars today, reminding us that the sky has always been a mirror for our hopes, fears, and dreams. In medieval Europe, the night sky was more than just a canvas of stars, it was a stage for divine messages. Comets, with their sudden and unpredictable appearances, were seen as harbingers of doom, often interpreted as signs of God's displeasure or warnings of impending catastrophe. This belief was deeply rooted in the Christian worldview of the time, where natural phenomena were rarely seen as mere accidents. Instead, they were viewed as deliberate acts of divine intervention, tied to biblical prophecies or the wrath of a judgmental god. For medieval Europeans, a comet streaking across the heavens wasn't just a celestial event, it was a call to repentance, a reminder of humanity's fragility in the face of divine power. One of the most famous examples of this belief was the appearance of Halley's Comet in 1066. Its arrival coincided with a pivotal moment in European history, the Norman conquest of England. To many, the comet's fiery tail was a clear omen, foretelling the dramatic changes that would soon unfold. The Bayeux Tapestry, an iconic piece of medieval art, captures this moment vividly. In one of its panels, the comet is depicted hovering ominously above King Harold Roman II, as if signaling his impending downfall at the Battle of Hastings. This artistic representation wasn't just decorative, it was a powerful statement about the comet's role as a divine messenger, shaping the course of human events. Medieval literature, too, echoed these beliefs. Comets often appeared in chronicles and religious texts as symbols of God's judgment, linked to plagues, wars, and other calamities. They were seen as reminders of humanity's moral failings, urging people to turn back to faith. Yet not everyone interpreted these celestial signs in the same way. While many saw them as warnings, others viewed them as opportunities for spiritual renewal, a chance to seek forgiveness and align themselves with divine will. As the medieval period gave way to the Renaissance, these interpretations began to shift. The growing influence of science and exploration challenged the idea that comets were purely divine instruments. Instead, thinkers started to see them as natural phenomena, subject to the same laws that govern the rest of the universe. This transition marked a turning point in how humanity understood the cosmos, moving from fear and superstition to curiosity and discovery. But before we explore that shift, let's take a closer look at how these medieval beliefs shaped art, culture, and the collective imagination of an entire era. The Renaissance wasn't just a rebirth of art and culture, it was a revolution in how humanity understood the cosmos. For centuries, comets had been seen as ominous signs, divine warnings, or chaotic anomalies. But as the Renaissance unfolded, thinkers like Tycho Brahe and Johannes Kepler began to question these age-old beliefs, ushering in a new era where comets were no longer seen as mystical omens but as subjects of scientific inquiry. Tycho Brahe, a Danish astronomer with an insatiable curiosity, played a pivotal role in this shift. In 1577, when the Great Comet blazed across the night sky, Brahe meticulously recorded its position and movement. What set his work apart was his use of precise measurements, a radical departure from the vague, fear-driven interpretations of the past. By comparing observations from different locations, Brahe made a groundbreaking discovery. The comet was far beyond the moon's orbit, shattering the long-held belief that comets were atmospheric phenomena. This finding challenged the very foundation of medieval cosmology and opened the door to a deeper understanding of these celestial wanderers. Enter Johannes Kepler, Brahe's brilliant protege, who took the baton and ran even further with it. Kepler, best known for his laws of planetary motion, turned his attention to comets as well. He proposed that comets weren't random or chaotic but followed predictable paths influenced by the same forces that govern the planets. Kepler's work didn't just demystify comets, it placed them firmly within the realm of natural law. His ideas laid the groundwork for future astronomers to study comets not as omens but as celestial bodies obeying the rules of physics. This shift wasn't just about science, it was a profound change in how humanity viewed its place in the universe. No longer were comets seen as divine messages or harbingers of doom. Instead, they became puzzles to solve, phenomena to understand. The Renaissance marked the moment when curiosity and reason began to triumph over superstition, setting the stage for the scientific advancements that would follow. As we'll see, this new perspective didn't just influence astronomy, it reshaped how people thought about the cosmos and their role within it. The work of Brahe and Kepler wasn't just about comets, it was about unlocking the mysteries of the universe itself. As the Enlightenment swept across Europe in the 17th and 18th centuries, it brought with it a profound shift in how humanity understood the cosmos. Comets, once seen as harbingers of doom or divine messages, began to lose their mystical aura. Instead, they became subjects of scientific study, their movements predictable and their origins explainable through the laws of nature. This transformation wasn't just about comets, it was a reflection of a broader change in thinking, where reason and observation began to replace superstition and fear. At the heart of this shift was Edmund Halley, a brilliant astronomer whose work would forever change our understanding of these celestial visitors. Halley was fascinated by comets, and he used Isaac Newton's groundbreaking laws of motion to study their path. What he discovered was remarkable. The comets observed in 1531, 1607, and 1682 were not random visitors but the same comet returning in a predictable cycle. Halley boldly predicted that this comet would reappear in 1758, and though he didn't live to see it, his prediction came true. This was the birth of Halley's Comet as we know it today, a celestial body governed by the same laws that dictate the motion of planets, not the whims of gods. This moment marked a turning point. No longer were comets seen as ominous signs or divine interventions. Instead, they became natural phenomena, their appearances calculated with precision. Halley's work didn't just demystify comets, it paved the way for a new era of astronomy, one rooted in observation, mathematics, and the pursuit of knowledge. The Enlightenment had given humanity a new lens through which to view the universe, a lens that revealed order where there had once been chaos. This shift didn't just change how we saw comets, it laid the foundation for modern astronomy. The tools and methods developed during this period allowed scientists to explore deeper questions about the cosmos, from the nature of gravity to the origins of the solar system. And while the fear of comets didn't disappear overnight, the Enlightenment planted the seeds of curiosity and reason that continue to drive our exploration of the stars today. Comets have come a long way in how we see them. Once feared as harbingers of doom, they've become objects of fascination and inspiration. This shift didn't happen overnight, but it's a story of how science, art, and culture have reshaped our understanding of these celestial visitors. In the past, comets were often seen as omens, messages from the gods warning of disaster. But as our knowledge grew, so did our curiosity. By the 19th century, comets began to take on a new role in the human imagination, not just as symbols of fear, but as sources of wonder and even mystery. Take Mark Twain, for example. The famous American writer was born in 1835, the same year Halley's Comet made one of its regular appearances. Twain himself even joked that he came into the world with the comet and would go out with it. And in a strange twist of fate, he did. Twain passed away in 1910, the year Halley's Comet returned. This connection between Twain and the comet has become a fascinating footnote in history, blending the poetic with the cosmic. It's a reminder of how comets have woven themselves into our stories, becoming more than just celestial objects, they're part of our cultural fabric. But it's not just literature where comets shine. Films like Deep Impact have brought them to life on the big screen, turning them into dramatic symbols of both destruction and hope. These stories reflect our evolving relationship with comets. They're no longer just feared, they're seen as opportunities for exploration and discovery. And that's where science steps in. Missions like Rosetta, which landed a probe on a comet in 2014, have given us an up-close look at these icy wanderers. For the first time, we've been able to study their composition, their behavior, and even their role in the early solar system. Yet, even with all this modern science, there's still a thread connecting us to the past. Ancient cultures saw comets as divine messengers, and in a way that idea hasn't completely faded. Today, they still capture our imagination, still make us look up at the night sky with a sense of awe. Whether it's through a telescope, a movie, or a childhood story, comets continue to bridge the gap between the ancient and the modern, reminding us that some mysteries are timeless. Ancient civilizations didn't just gaze at the stars for wonder, they used them as tools to measure time itself. Comets, with their unpredictable appearances and dramatic tales, became more than just celestial phenomena. They were markers of time woven into the very fabric of ancient calendars. Take the Mayan long count calendar, for example. This intricate system wasn't just about counting days, it was deeply tied to celestial cycles, including the movements of comets. The Mayans believed these cosmic events held profound significance, often signaling shifts in eras or the end of cycles. Their calendar wasn't just a tool for tracking time, it was a reflection of their belief that the heavens and earth were intimately connected. Similarly, in ancient China, comets were seen as more than just fleeting lights in the sky. They were considered omens carrying messages about the future. The Chinese meticulously recorded comets, linking their appearances to agricultural cycles and even political events. A bright comet might signal a bountiful harvest, while a dim or erratic one could foretell unrest or the fall of a dynasty. These observations weren't just superstition, they were part of a sophisticated system of timekeeping and prediction that helped shape Chinese society. These ancient practices didn't just fade into history, they laid the groundwork for the calendars we use today. The idea of tracking celestial events to mark time has evolved, but the influence of these early systems is undeniable. From the Mayans to the Chinese, the way ancient cultures interpreted comets and celestial events reveals a universal human desire to understand the rhythms of the cosmos. And this fascination didn't just shape calendars, it shaped entire civilizations, influencing everything from agriculture to governance. As we look back at these ancient practices, it's striking how they reflect a deep connection between humanity and the heavens. Comets weren't just objects in the sky, they were messengers, guides, and symbols of the profound interplay between Earth and the cosmos. This relationship didn't just shape how ancient cultures measured time, it shaped how they saw themselves in the universe. Throughout history, comets weren't just seen as celestial oddities, they were powerful tools in the hands of ambitious leaders. Imagine a comet streaking across the night sky, its tail glowing like a fiery sword. To ancient rulers, this wasn't just a cosmic event. It was a message from the heavens, a sign that their destiny was written in the stars, and few knew how to wield this celestial symbolism better than the political elites of their time. Take Julius Caesar, for instance. According to Roman historians, a bright comet appeared in the skies just months after his assassination in 44 BC. This wasn't just any comet, it was interpreted as Caesar's soul ascending to join the gods, solidifying his legacy as a divine figure. His adopted heir, Augustus, seized on this narrative, using the comet to legitimize his own rule. Coins were minted with the comet's image, and Augustus became the first Roman emperor, his authority bolstered by the belief that the gods themselves had blessed his rise to power. The comet wasn't just a sign, it was propaganda, a celestial endorsement of leadership. But Caesar wasn't the only ruler to harness the power of comets. Across the globe, leaders like Genghis Khan and Charlemagne also looked to the skies for validation. For Genghis Khan, the heavens were a source of divine inspiration. Legends say that a comet appeared shortly before his rise to power, signaling his destiny to unite the Mongol tribes and conquer vast territories. Whether or not the story was true, it became part of his mythos, a symbol of his unstoppable will and divine favor. Similarly, Charlemagne, the great Frankish king, was said to have been crowned emperor of the Holy Roman Empire under auspicious celestial signs. These rulers understood that a comet wasn't just an omen. It was a story, one that could inspire loyalty and fear in equal measure. These celestial interpretations didn't just shape personal legacies, they influenced entire political systems. A comet could be used to justify a leader's rise, but it could also signal their fall. In times of crisis, a comet might be seen as a warning, a call for change. Rulers who ignored such signs risked losing the trust of their people. On the other hand, those who embraced the narrative could turn a comet into a rallying cry, a symbol of renewal and divine purpose. The skies, in many ways, became a battlefield of ideas, where comets and other celestial events were wielded as tools of persuasion. What's fascinating is how deeply these beliefs permeated political decisions. Leaders didn't just wait for comets to appear, they actively sought out astrologers and interpreters to craft their narratives. A comet could be spun as a sign of divine approval, a call to war, or even a reason to consolidate power. And in a world where science and superstition were intertwined, these interpretations carried immense weight. The line between the celestial and the political was often blurred, with comets serving as both messengers and manipulators of human destiny. This interplay between the heavens and the halls of power reminds us how deeply ancient cultures connected the cosmos to their lives. For them, a comet wasn't just a passing phenomenon. It was a story, a symbol, and sometimes a weapon. And as we'll see next, this connection between comets and human affairs didn't end with rulers. It extended to entire societies, shaping how people understood their place in the universe. Long before telescopes and satellites, ancient cultures meticulously tracked the movements of comets across the night sky, recording their paths with remarkable precision. These early observations weren't just fleeting curiosities, they were the seeds of modern astronomy. Take, for instance, the star charts created by ancient Chinese astronomers. These charts, some of which date back over 2,000 years, document the appearances of comets with such detail that modern scientists have been able to match them to known celestial events. It's astonishing to think that without the benefit of advanced tools, these early sky watchers were able to predict the cyclical return of certain comets, a concept that modern astronomy has since validated. One of the most fascinating examples is Halley's Comet. Ancient records from Babylon, China, and even Europe describe a recurring, hairy star that appeared in the sky at regular intervals. While they couldn't explain the science behind it, their observations laid the groundwork for later astronomers like Edmund Halley, who used these ancient accounts to calculate the comet's orbit. It's a testament to the enduring accuracy of these early records, and a reminder of just how much we owe to those who first looked up and wondered. But it's not just about comets. Ancient star charts also reveal a deep understanding of celestial mechanics. The Babylonians, for example, developed complex mathematical models to predict planetary movements, while the Maya created intricate calendars based on the cycles of the stars. These tools weren't just practical, they were deeply intertwined with their cultures, shaping myths, rituals, and even governance. And while their methods were rooted in observation rather than modern physics, many of their conclusions align surprisingly well with what we know today. Fast forward to the present, and modern science has taken these ancient insights to new heights. We now know that comets are icy remnants from the early solar system, and their orbits can span hundreds or even thousands of years. But what's truly remarkable is how modern discoveries have echoed ancient beliefs. The idea that comets are cyclical, for instance, was once thought to be a myth until science proved it true. Similarly, the notion that celestial events could influence life on Earth, a belief held by many ancient cultures, has found new resonance in studies linking cosmic phenomena to planetary changes. This interplay between ancient wisdom and modern science has profoundly reshaped our understanding of the cosmos. It's a reminder that the stars have always been more than just distant lights. They've been a source of wonder, inspiration, and knowledge for countless generations. And as we continue to explore the mysteries of the universe, we're not just building on the work of modern astronomers, we're standing on the shoulders of those who first dared to map the heavens. Throughout history, comets have not only sparked fear and wonder in the skies, but have also left an indelible mark on the canvas of human creativity. In art and literature, these celestial wanderers have often served as powerful symbols of change, upheaval, and transformation. Take, for instance, the Bayeux Tapestry, an embroidered masterpiece from the 11th century. Here, Halley's Comet is depicted blazing across the sky, a harbinger of William the Conqueror's invasion of England. For the people of that time, the comet wasn't just a natural phenomenon. It was a divine sign, a celestial messenger foretelling a dramatic shift in power. This portrayal captures the tension and uncertainty of an era where the heavens were believed to hold sway over earthly events. Moving forward to the Renaissance, comets began to take on new layers of meaning in the hands of artists and thinkers. Paintings from this period often depicted comets as celestial wonders, their tails streaking across the night sky with an almost otherworldly beauty. Yet, even in these more scientific depictions, the underlying symbolism remained. Comets were still seen as omens, their sudden appearance signaling moments of profound change. This duality, beauty and foreboding, reflects the Renaissance's blend of burgeoning scientific curiosity and deep-rooted superstition. Literature, too, has embraced the comet as a symbol of transformation. In Shakespeare's Julius Caesar, a comet streaks across the sky shortly before Caesar's assassination, a dramatic flourish that underscores the play's themes of fate and political upheaval. Shakespeare's use of the comet isn't just a poetic device, it's a reflection of the cultural mindset of his time, where such celestial events were often interpreted as signs of divine intervention or impending disaster. Fast forward to modern literature, and we see comets continue to play a role in storytelling. In contemporary novels, they might symbolize the fragility of life, the unpredictability of existence, or even the hope of renewal after chaos. These depictions in art and literature are more than just creative flourishes. They reveal how societies have grappled with the unknown. Whether as omens of doom or symbols of rebirth, comets have consistently mirrored the hopes, fears, and uncertainties of the cultures that observed them. This rich tapestry of interpretations reminds us that, across centuries, humanity has looked to the skies not just for answers but for meaning. Comets have always been more than just celestial phenomena. They've been mirrors reflecting humanity's deepest fears and most profound fascinations. For ancient societies, these glowing visitors in the night sky often carried a dual meaning. On one hand, they were seen as harbingers of doom, omens of divine displeasure or impending catastrophe. On the other, their ethereal beauty inspired wonder and reverence, sparking myths and legends that endure to this day. This tension between fear and fascination shaped not only how ancient cultures interpreted comets, but how they responded to them in their daily lives. Imagine living in a world where every unusual event in the sky was thought to be a message from the gods. For many ancient civilizations, comets were interpreted as signs of divine retribution, warnings that the gods were displeased with human behavior. The sudden appearance of a comet could send entire communities into a state of panic. In ancient Rome, for example, the appearance of a comet was often followed by public rituals and sacrifices, as people sought to appease the gods and avert disaster. Similarly, in China, comets were seen as broom stars, sweeping away the old to make way for the new, a concept that could be both terrifying and hopeful depending on the circumstances. But it wasn't just fear that drove these responses. The awe-inspiring beauty of comets also played a significant role in shaping cultural practices. Many societies viewed comets as celestial messengers, bringing not just warnings but also inspiration. The ancient Greeks, for instance, believed that comets were the souls of great heroes ascending to the heavens, a belief that tied these celestial events to the identity and memory of their culture. This blend of fear and wonder is evident in the rituals and art that emerged around comets, from elaborate ceremonies to intricate carvings that immortalized their appearance. These emotions didn't just fade away with the rise of modern science, they evolved. Today, while we may no longer see comets as divine omens, they still evoke a powerful mix of fear and fascination. The idea of a comet striking Earth, for example, taps into deep-seated anxieties about our vulnerability in the cosmos. At the same time, the breathtaking images of comets captured by modern telescopes remind us of the beauty and mystery of the universe, inspiring a sense of connection to something greater than ourselves. In this way, the psychological impact of comets, shaped by ancient beliefs, continues to resonate in our modern world, bridging the gap between the past and the present. For centuries, comets have been more than just celestial phenomena. They've been seen as divine messengers, carrying profound meaning across cultures and religions. In Christianity, for example, the Star of Bethlehem is often interpreted as a comet or a similar celestial event. This star was believed to herald the birth of Jesus Christ, serving as a sign from the heavens that something extraordinary was unfolding on Earth. The idea of comets as harbingers of divine intervention wasn't limited to Christianity, though. In Hinduism, comets were often associated with the gods themselves, sometimes described as the fiery chariots of deities like Shiva or Agni, the god of fire. These celestial visitors were thought to signal major events, whether blessings or warnings, shaping the spiritual outlook of entire communities. In ancient Mesopotamia, comets were seen as omens from the gods, often linked to the fate of kings and empires. Babylonian astronomers meticulously recorded these events, believing that the gods used comets to communicate their will. Similarly, in Chinese tradition, comets were referred to as broom stars, sweeping across the sky to signify impending change, whether it was the rise of a new dynasty or the fall of an old one. These interpretations weren't just abstract beliefs, they had real-world consequences. Rulers would often alter their policies or perform rituals to appease the gods based on the appearance of a comet, showing just how deeply these celestial events were woven into the fabric of religious and political life. Even in more recent history, comets have continued to inspire awe and speculation. During the Middle Ages in Europe, comets were often seen as signs of divine wrath, foretelling disasters like wars or plagues. This fear wasn't unfounded after all. Major historical events sometimes coincided with the appearance of comets, reinforcing the idea that they were more than mere coincidences. But not all interpretations were dire. In some Native American traditions, comets were seen as spiritual guides, lighting the way for the souls of the departed or signaling the arrival of a great leader. What's fascinating is how these interpretations influenced religious practices and rituals. In Hinduism, for instance, the appearance of a comet might lead to special prayers or offerings as people sought to align themselves with the divine will. In Christianity, the Star of Bethlehem became a symbol of hope and salvation, inspiring countless works of art and literature. These celestial events didn't just shape beliefs. They shaped the way people lived, the way they worshipped, and even the way they understood their place in the universe. Whether seen as divine chariots, omens of change, or messengers of hope, comets have left an indelible mark on the spiritual and cultural history of humanity. It's fascinating how the ancient world's awe and fear of comets still echo in the modern era, even as science has peeled back much of their mystery. For thousands of years, comets were seen as celestial messengers, often interpreted as omens of disaster or divine intervention. But while we now understand comets as icy remnants from the early solar system, those ancient superstitions haven't entirely vanished. Instead, they've morphed into new forms, lingering in our collective imagination and even shaping the stories we tell today. Take, for example, how comets are portrayed in movies, books, and even news headlines. They are often depicted as harbingers of doom, symbols of impending catastrophe. Think about films like Deep Impact or Don't Look Up, where comets serve as the ultimate threat to humanity's survival. These modern narratives tap into the same primal fears that ancient astronomers felt when they saw a fiery streak across the night sky. It's a reminder that, even in an age of rockets and satellites, we're still captivated by the unknown and perhaps still a little uneasy about what it might mean for us. But it's not just in fiction where these old beliefs persist. Even today, some people interpret unusual celestial events as signs of something greater, whether it's a warning, a prophecy, or a call to action. The internet age has only amplified this, with social media often sparking wild theories and speculation whenever a comet or meteor shower makes headlines. In a way, this reflects humanity's enduring need to find meaning in the cosmos, even when science offers us clear, rational explanations. And yet, science has also fundamentally reshaped how we see comets. Where ancient cultures once saw divine messages, we now see scientific opportunities. Missions like the Rosetta spacecraft, which landed on a comet in 2014, have given us unprecedented insights into these icy travelers. We've learned that comets carry organic molecules, the building blocks of life, and that they may have played a role in delivering water to Earth billions of years ago. Far from being omens of destruction, comets are now seen as keys to understanding our own origins. This shift in perspective is a testament to humanity's ability to grow and adapt. While the superstitions of the past still linger in our stories and fears, they now coexist with a deeper, more awe-inspiring truth: that comets are not just mysterious lights in the sky, but windows into the very beginnings of our solar system. And perhaps that's the most fascinating part of all, how our relationship with these celestial wanderers has evolved, yet remains rooted in the same sense of wonder that has always driven us to look up at the stars. Ancient cultures often saw comets as more than just celestial spectacles. They believed these fiery visitors had the power to shape the world around them. For many civilizations, comets were harbingers of dramatic shifts in weather, signaling everything from devastating droughts to catastrophic floods. The Chinese, for instance, meticulously recorded comet sightings alongside natural disasters, drawing a direct line between the two. Similarly, the Babylonians and Mayans believed comets were divine messages, often tied to changes in the environment. These interpretations weren't just superstition. They were attempts to make sense of a world where climate and celestial events seemed deeply intertwined. Fast forward to modern science, and we find that some of these ancient ideas aren't as far-fetched as they might seem. While comets aren't mystical omens, scientists have discovered that they've played a role in shaping Earth's climate over millennia. One of the most compelling theories suggests that cometary impacts could have triggered ice ages. When a comet crashes into Earth, it releases massive amounts of dust and debris into the atmosphere, blocking sunlight and potentially cooling the planet. The Younger Dryas event around 12,000 years ago is often cited as a possible example. This period of sudden cooling coincides with evidence of a cosmic impact, leading some researchers to speculate that a comet fragment may have played a part. But it's not just ancient impacts that interest scientists. Modern research has also explored how cometary material like dust and ice might influence Earth's atmosphere. As comets pass through the solar system, they leave behind trails of particles that can interact with our climate systems. While these effects are subtle compared to the dramatic imagery of ancient beliefs, they've opened up new avenues in environmental studies. By examining how comets and their remnants interact with Earth, researchers are gaining insights into the delicate balance of our planet's climate and how it might be affected by cosmic events. This fascinating blend of ancient intuition and modern discovery reminds us that the skies above have always been deeply connected to the world below. Whether seen as divine warnings or studied as scientific phenomena, comets continue to spark our curiosity and deepen our understanding of the forces that shape our environment. Comets, with their fiery tails streaking across the night sky, weren't just celestial wonders to ancient cultures. They were often seen as divine messages, especially in times of conflict. For armies preparing for battle, the sudden appearance of a comet could be a game-changer, shaping strategies and altering the course of history. These celestial events were interpreted as omens, sometimes foretelling victory, other times signaling doom. And in the chaos of war, where morale and perception are everything, such beliefs could tip the scales of power. Take the famous example of the comet seen before the Battle of Hastings in 1066. For the Norman army led by William the Conqueror, the sight of Halley's Comet was seen as a divine endorsement of their campaign. It wasn't just a random streak of light to them, it was a sign from the heavens that their cause was just and their victory assured. This belief didn't just boost their confidence, it solidified their resolve, giving them a psychological edge over their opponents. On the other side, Harold's English forces may have seen the same comet as a harbinger of disaster, sowing doubt and fear among their ranks. The comet didn't just illuminate the sky, it illuminated the minds of those who saw it, shaping their actions in ways that rippled through history. But this wasn't just about superstition. Leaders of the time were astute enough to use these celestial omens to their advantage. By framing comets as divine signs, they could rally their troops, unify their people, and even justify their conquest. The idea that the heavens themselves were on their side was a powerful tool, one that could turn the tide of war before a single sword was drawn. And it wasn't unique to the Normans. Ancient generals and rulers across cultures used similar tactics, weaving celestial phenomena into their narratives of power and destiny. These interpretations didn't just influence individual battles, they shaped the trajectory of military history. Belief in celestial omens reinforced the idea that warfare wasn't just a clash of armies, but a cosmic struggle where the will of the gods played a decisive role. This mindset persisted for centuries, influencing how leaders planned their campaigns and how soldiers faced their enemies. Comets, in this sense, weren't just passive observers of history. They were active participants, their appearances sparking fear, hope, and action in equal measure. What's fascinating is how these ancient beliefs, rooted in the mysteries of the cosmos, still echo in our understanding of warfare today. While we no longer see comets as divine messages, the idea that perception and morale can decide the outcome of a conflict remains as relevant as ever. The skies may no longer guide our strategies, but the human tendency to find meaning in the unknown continues to shape how we face challenges both on and off the battlefield. What if the very origins of life on Earth were written in the stars? Comets, those fiery wanderers of the night sky, have long been seen as messengers of change in ancient cultures. But could they have been more than just omens? Could they have been the cosmic architects of life itself? This is the fascinating theory that connects comets to the dawn of human evolution, a story that spans billions of years and bridges the gap between myth and science. Ancient cultures, with their keen observations of the heavens, often wove comets into their creation stories. The ancient Egyptians, for instance, believed that the god Osiris descended from the heavens in a fiery chariot, bringing knowledge and life to Earth. Similarly, the Hopi people of North America spoke of a blue star that heralded the arrival of their ancestors, suggesting a celestial origin for humanity. These myths, rich with symbolism, hint at an intuitive understanding of comets as harbingers of transformation, perhaps even the seeds of life. Modern science is now uncovering intriguing connections that align with these ancient intuitions. Researchers have found that comets carry complex organic molecules, the building blocks of life, in their icy cores. When these cosmic travelers collide with planets, they may have delivered these essential ingredients to Earth billions of years ago. Imagine it, a comet streaking through the early solar system, crashing into our planet, and releasing the very compounds that would eventually give rise to life as we know it. It's a theory that ties the cosmos to our own existence in a profound way, but the connection doesn't end there. Some scientists suggest that comets may have also influenced the course of evolution. The impact of a comet or asteroid around 66 million years ago, for example, is widely believed to have triggered the extinction of the dinosaurs, paving the way for mammals and eventually humans to thrive. In this light, comets are not just ancient messengers but pivotal players in the story of life on Earth. What's remarkable is how these modern discoveries echo the wisdom of ancient cultures. Perhaps through their myths and legends, our ancestors were reaching toward a truth they couldn't yet fully grasp, a cosmic connection that bound the heavens to the emergence of life. Today, as scientists continue to explore this link, we're reminded that the mysteries of the universe are deeply intertwined with our own history. The next time you gaze up at a comet streaking across the night sky, consider this. You might be witnessing a cosmic thread that ties the stars to the story of us all. As we stand at the intersection of ancient wisdom and cutting-edge technology, the study of comets has never been more exciting. Today, we're not just gazing at these celestial wanderers through the eyes of myth and superstition. We're sending probes into the depths of space to meet them head-on. Missions like the European Space Agency's Rosetta, which famously landed on Comet 67P in 2014, have revolutionized our understanding of these icy travelers. By analyzing their composition, structure, and behavior, scientists are uncovering clues about the early solar system, clues that might have once seemed as mysterious as the comets themselves. And the journey is far from over. Upcoming missions such as NASA's a Comet Astrobiology Exploration Sample Return or CESAR aim to bring pieces of comets back to Earth. Imagine holding a fragment of a comet in your hand, a piece of cosmic history that has journeyed billions of miles. These samples could reveal not only the building blocks of our solar system, but also how water and organic molecules essential for life might have been delivered to Earth. It's a thrilling prospect that ties modern science directly to the ancient awe these objects inspired. What's even more fascinating is how these discoveries are reshaping our understanding of the past. Ancient cultures saw comets as omens, messengers, or even gods. Today, we know they're remnants of the solar system's formation, carrying secrets older than humanity itself. But could there be a kernel of truth in those ancient beliefs? If comets did bring water or organic compounds to Earth, perhaps they were messengers of life in a way our ancestors could only intuit. As we unlock these cosmic secrets, we're not just advancing science, we're also reconnecting with the curiosity and wonder that drove ancient sky watchers to record every flash and streak across the heavens. It's a reminder that the human desire to understand the universe is timeless, bridging the gap between the stargazers of old and the scientists of today. This fusion of ancient insight and modern innovation brings us full circle, offering a deeper appreciation for both the mysteries of the cosmos and the enduring human spirit that seeks to unravel them. Throughout history, comets have been more than just streaks of light in the night sky. They've been messengers, omens, and enigmas that have sparked both awe and fear in the hearts of those who witnessed them. From the Babylonians meticulously charting their paths to the Chinese recording their appearances as cosmic warnings, these celestial wanderers have always held a special place in human imagination. But what's truly fascinating is how this ancient fascination hasn't faded with time. Even today, comets continue to captivate us, blending the mystery of the past with the scientific discoveries of the present. Think about it, when we look at a comet through a modern telescope, we're not just seeing a ball of ice and dust. We're witnessing a phenomenon that once made kings tremble, inspired poets, and guided entire civilizations. That's the power of these celestial visitors. They remind us that no matter how advanced our technology becomes, there's still a part of us that feels that same wonder our ancestors felt thousands of years ago. It's a reminder of humanity's shared curiosity, that deep-seated desire to make sense of the universe and our place within it. But there's something else these ancient interpretations teach us: the importance of preserving the knowledge of the past. The records left by ancient cultures, whether etched on clay tablets or woven into myths, are more than just historical artifacts. They're a testament to the enduring human spirit, our relentless drive to observe, interpret, and understand the world around us. And as we continue to explore the cosmos, unlocking its secrets with cutting-edge science, we carry that legacy with us. In a way, comets are the perfect bridge between the past and the present. They remind us that science and mystery aren't opposites, they're two sides of the same coin. The more we learn about these celestial wonders, the more we realize how much there is still to discover. And perhaps that's the most beautiful part of it all, the realization that no matter how much we uncover, the universe will always hold a little bit of magic just waiting to be revealed. This journey through the ancient and modern interpretations of comets isn't just about understanding the stars. It's about understanding ourselves. It's about recognizing that our ancestors, with all their myths and marvels, were asking the same questions we are today. And as we stand on the shoulders of their knowledge, looking out into the vast expanse of space, we carry forward that timeless quest for meaning, bridging the gap between the past and the future. As we come to the end of this journey through time and space, let's take a moment to reflect on the incredible story of comets and how they've captivated humanity across millennia. From the ancient Mesopotamians, who meticulously charted the stars and saw comets as omens from the gods, to the brilliant minds of the Renaissance who began to unravel their scientific mysteries, these celestial visitors have always held a special place in our collective imagination. They've been seen as harbingers of doom, divine messengers, and even as cosmic storytellers, weaving tales of change and transformation across the ages. Today, we stand on the shoulders of those who came before us, equipped with telescopes, probes, and spacecraft that have brought us closer than ever to understanding these enigmatic objects. Missions like Rosetta and Stardust have revealed the secrets hidden within comets' ice, dust, and organic compounds that may hold clues to the origins of life itself. And yet, despite all we've learned, comets still retain their air of mystery. They remind us that the universe is vast, complex, and filled with wonders we've only begun to explore. So the next time you find yourself beneath a clear night sky, take a moment to look up. Let your imagination wander as you gaze at the stars and think about the countless generations who have done the same. What stories did they tell? What fears or hopes did they attach to the sight of a comet streaking across the heavens? And what new discoveries might we make in the years to come? The night sky is a canvas of endless possibilities, and comets are just one of the many threads in its tapestry. Before we wrap up, we'd love to hear from you. Have you ever witnessed a comet or a meteor shower? What do these celestial events mean to you? Share your thoughts and experiences in the comments below. We're always excited to hear your stories. And if you've enjoyed this exploration of comets and the mysteries of the cosmos, Don't forget to subscribe and join us as we continue to uncover the fascinating connections between history, science, and the stars. Until next time, keep looking up. You never know what wonders might appear.